December 7th,
1935. December 7th, 1941. Who entered the war then?
U.S.
The United States, not the Japanese. They're already at war. What do y'all think? Before 1941, how far back do you think it goes?
1933.
Say again? 1937, good guess. 1937, the Marco Polo Bridge Affair. Shanghai, China. This is basically what happens. Me as the Japanese commander, I'll need some volunteers, you're it. I dress you up in Chinese uniforms and I tell you to go across the Marco Polo Bridge. Your mission is to scout out Chinese artillery positions throughout the city. We're going to kick off a large war with China very, very soon. Now, to give our grunts some time, we knock out the artillery early on. You go out and you do your job. You mark those locations on the maps. You did just what you're supposed to. I'll wait till you get about halfway back across that bridge and then I open up on you with my heavy machine guns. I kill you the last man. Then in turn, I sit there and take your bodies and hold them in front of the world press and say, look, sovereign Japanese territory has been invaded by the Chinese. What did I just do?
Make the Chinese look like bad guys.
Make the Chinese the bad guys, right? They now look like the aggressors. I'm not going to look like that because I'm responding to them, correct? Now here, I'll do another fun one. How many of y'all can tell the difference between Japanese and Chinese? Usually it's about 10% that actually could do it. Now the reason I say that is you're in mom, pa, kettle, and Padunkseawa. You get a picture in the front page of your newspaper. It says Japanese soldiers dressed in Chinese uniforms. Are you going to be able to tell the difference? No. There's no way. Now here's my next question to it. Are you really going to care? Where's China from Iowa? Halfway around the world, right? Do you really care what happens there?
Not really.
Nah. Alright, now here's my other question. This one you got to think a little bit. What made Japan think it could take on China and win? You've seen a map. Japan's about this big, right? China's about like that. So, what made the Japanese think they could actually do it?
Confusion. Every other nation.
You got to speak loud and proud.
Okay. Every other nation had already whooped their ass. Oh yeah.
No.
Easy, Crow. Off to a good start, Crow. Right, another one. Who said that? What do you think? Kick her off the bus.
Kick him off the bus.
All right. Besides alcohol, what gets you in more trouble than anything?
Ego.
Ego. That's why the Japanese thought they could beat the Chinese. Ego. They've got it built up a little bit. Yes.
Isn't it mostly because Japan had the strongest military force at that point in time?
Not really, but it does have something to do with it. And it's not really the strength of their military, it's the mindset of their military. The Japanese up to 1937, every single battle they had ever been involved in or war they had won. Now to figure out where that mindset comes from and how they were able to do that, you got to go back in Japanese history. You got to go back to 1600 to a place called Sekigahara. There's a daimyo there. He's the general of a samurai army. His name's Tokugawa Ieyasu. Anybody ever heard of him? No? Alright. Tokugawa Ieyasu is fighting a battle against the emperor and his supporters. Tokugawa wins. And between 1600 and 1603, he consolidates his power. And in 1603, he declares himself shogun. You've heard that term before, right?
Yeah.
What does shogun mean?
Really badass. Warrior.
Supreme badass. No. Has anybody ever heard the term Caesar or Kaiser? What does Caesar mean? No, it doesn't mean king. Huh?
Dictator.
Dictator. Who said that? You took Latin in high school, didn't you?
Huh?
You said you took Latin in high school, didn't you?
Go to high school.
I didn't go to high school. Yeah. I went to the backwoods. All right.
Awkward. That's awkward. Watch it.
Shogun means dictator as well. It means